Hello, Loop. Hello, world. This is Holly, starting a Loop Hangout. LEWWWP, Loop. Learn English with a worldwide perspective. For those of you who are already members of our site, like Gerard, who's just joined us. Hi, Gerard. We post on our events calendar and list information about upcoming classes and what we might talk about. And the Hangouts with Holly are open conversation, but with a suggested topic to start us off. And always the chance for anyone here to add their own idea for a topic. So Gerard, do you have anything special you hope to talk about today?
I didn't think about anything special. I just read the 11th chapter of the Little Prince.
So you're going to continue with Little Prince. Awesome. Okay. And I actually didn't even list that as a topic this week, but we absolutely can. I didn't because we haven't had as much interest as I had hoped in The Little Prince, and no one's been very active in the book group on Loop. So I stopped pushing it, but I had listed it as a September topic. So let me go to that group myself and refresh myself on The Little Prince and Chapter 11. What's Chapter 11 about?
I thought here in our space says chapters 14 through 17.
Yeah, and you mentioned Chapter 11, which I had listed the last couple of weeks.
Okay.
We weren't getting much response for Little Prince interest. I love The Little Prince, and I'm happy to talk about it. So we have a book club, and we had been spending time on Hangouts talking about The Little Prince. So there's a link for the book group. And I'm just double checking my listing on Loop. I thought I changed it. I know, okay, so I did have 14 through 17, and then I added a comment with extra topics because The Little Prince hadn't been generating that much discussion. But I'm happy to generate it. So you mentioned Chapter 11, or do you want to talk about 14 through 17?
14 through 17.
Okay, I thought I heard you say Chapter 11.
Okay. I could check.
No, Chapter 14, as suggested, is fine. So I'm going to go, there's Chapter 13. I'm trying to find my link now to Chapter 14. And I didn't post the link. Do you have the link? See who can find it first.
Yes.
Chapter 14.
I have the link.
Okay. Excellent. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. And did you read the Chapter 14?
Yes.
Okay. And would you like to read this section aloud that is shared here? I don't know if it's the full chapter or not, but I see.
Yes.
You shared the link to the chapter. I see. I was looking for the link to the discussion in our book group.
Okay.
So we'll find that too. So while I'm looking for that, you can. There it is, chapter. No, that's Chapter 4. I don't want 4. I want 14. Chapter 14. There we go. Chapter 14. No, that's Chapter 24. So I'm embarrassing myself on camera here, as I should have had Chapter 14 open, and I should never expect that a looper won't come up and actually be ready for the posted discussion. I added a comment to my event listing with 2 new topics, hoping that would bring more interest to the group. All right, so I'm trying to find chapter 14. Where are you? XXVI. I want XX. No, I don't want 24. I want XIV. Where are you? All right, it doesn't exist. I know there's a post on loop. Why can't I find it? View all. Very interesting. I'm just realizing that probably would be faster. I think I'm going to try that to search. Use our search tool and search XIV, because there probably aren't very many posts that list XIV, Roman numerals. This is a crazy start for a Hangout. Diana's joining us to listen to my embarrassing talking in circles. Hello, Diana.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
And Gerard found that link for me too. No, Diana found it.
Yeah. That's fine. Right. It's fine. It was difficult to find, actually. Yes. Joanna did something, you know, some kinks on that.
So this is another realization of different ways to embarrass yourself on web camera, different ways to search for something on loop. So how did you finally find it, Diana?
I just opened all discussions, and it was on page 3, I guess. So that's why it was difficult to find.
Right.
Yeah, page 3. Mm-hmm.
And I was just searching, doing a search for XIV, and found it that way. Were you here? Okay. Were you here in the Hangout early enough to get Gerard's link to the chapter 14?
No.
Okay.
No. Okay, thank you.
I shared it again. So now, Gerard, let's see, it's now 9 minutes into our Hangout.
Right on time. Okay.
We can get started to where we should have been 8 minutes ago. And would you like to talk about chapter 14 and or read part of it?
I like to read part of it. I read the second paragraph. It may well be that this man is absurd, but he's not so absurd as the king, the conceited man, the businessman, and the tippler. For at least his work has some meaning. When he lights his street lamp, it is as if he brought one more star to life, or one flower. When he puts out his lamp, he sends the flower or the star to sleep. That is a beautiful occupation. And since it is beautiful, it is truly useful.
Nice. I like that paragraph. And just one quick British English versus American English pronunciation that I'm often pouncing on is the U in occupation, not occupation, but occupation. Occupation for American English. We want to hear that U. And absurd. I like the word absurd. That's just absurd. So you can do something absurdly. You can have something that is rife with absurdity. I like the word. So do you think that this man is absurd?
No, because as we can read in the paragraph, he is doing he's doing a job, and the little princess thinks that this job is beautiful, so it is truly useful.
So you'll agree with his observation?
Compared with the others, characters that the Little Prince met before. I think.
So this little guide of lighter is actually someone to value perhaps more than the king, the conceited man, the businessman, and the tippler.
Yeah.
I wonder what other kings and conceited men and businessmen would have to say about that. The tipplers might agree.
Right.
A language grammar point, the sentence, but he is not so absurd as the king. Most current usage would be not as absurd as the king. So absurd as is not a very frequently used construct in my awareness anyway. So just mention that as absurd as is more likely. Let's see. I see a note from Hala trying to join us. I'm going to send her a quick note with the link. So continue. Okay. Observations, comments, reading.
Well, I'm going to read the dialogue between the Little Prince and the Lamb.
Okay, with some dramatic passion.
Okay. But not absurdity, please.
Maybe you can change roles, and Diana can read one, and you can read one.
Okay.
Okay.
Nice. Yeah.
I'll be the Little Prince.
Oh, of course you are. Yeah. Okay.
Good morning. Where have you just put out your lamp?
Those are the orders. Good morning.
What are the orders?
The orders are that I put out my lamp. Good evening.
But
and he lighted. Okay.
But why have you just lighted it again?
Those are the orders.
I do not understand.
There is nothing to understand. Orders are orders. Good morning.
And he put on his lamp. Then he mopped his forehead with a handkerchief decorated with red squares.
Okay, is that me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I follow it. Yeah, oh my goodness. I follow a terrible profession. In the old days, it was reasonable. I put the lamp out in the morning, and in the evening, I lighted it again. I had the rest of the day for relaxation and the rest of the night for sleep.
And the orders have been changed since that time?
The orders have not been changed. That is the tragedy. From year to year, the planet has turned more rapidly, and the orders had not been changed.
Then what?
Then the planet now makes a complete turn every minute, and I no longer have a single second for repose. Once every minute, I have to light my lamp and put it out.
Once a minute. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That is very funny. A day lasts only 1 minute. Here, where you live.
It's not funny at all. While we have been talking together, a month has gone by.
A month?
Yes, a month. 30 minutes, 30 days. Good evening.
And he lit his lamp again. I want to make a quick comment. I argue about this with people all the time, or I shouldn't say argue, I poll people on how they pronounce this word. And I say lit, and I spell it lit, but many people say lighted and still spell it as lighted. But to light something, you lit something. So I use lit, and it's argued whether it's two different words or the same word and what the correct pronunciation and what the correct spelling is.
Mm-hmm.
But I pronounce it lit, so I don't know if you caught that, but I just thought I'd throw that in there.
I think that there are two different ways. You know, they use it like a regular verb now, and as the regular, light, lit, lit. I don't know what's the correct one. It's not correct one. It's both correct. I don't know.
This is what many people say. Both are still considered correct. I'm trying to change to lit. Much easier.
I think when I was a student, they taught us light, lit, lit. I don't know. I just remember lit. Okay.
So I think we're back to Gerard to be the little prince.
Okay. Okay. Your planet is so small that 3 strides will take you all the way around it. To be always in the sunshine, you need only walk along rather slowly. When you want to rest, you will walk, and the day will last as long as you like.
That doesn't do me much good. The one thing I love in life is to sleep.
Diana chose the right role.
Yeah. Oh yes, yes.
Then you are unlucky.
I am unlucky. Good morning.
And he put on his lamp.
Okay, I'm going to talk by myself. That man would be scorned by all the others. By the king, by the conceited man, by the tippler, by the businessman. Nevertheless, he is the only one of them. All who do is not seem to be ridiculous.
Who does not seem to me ridiculous, right?
Perhaps that is because he is thinking of something else besides himself.
Besides, you know, there are so many typos here. You know, like does, yeah, and it's difficult to read sometimes. Okay.
That man is the only one of them all whom I could have met my friend. But his planet is indeed too small. There is no room on it for 2 people. That's all.
What the little prince did not dare confess was that he was sorry most of all to leave this planet, because it was the last every day with 1,440 sunsets. So the silver lining. A lot of the language here is archaic construction or formal storytelling construction and not so typical. So nevertheless, he is the only one of them all. Nevertheless, he is the only one of all of us, or he is the only one of them who does not seem ridiculous to me, is a more likely word order. It's kind of fun to read it in a different construction.
But that's what Little Prince said. That's why probably that's just his way of expressing himself.
He is, after all, he is aristocracy, right? He is a little prince.
Yes. Who we are to judge him, right?
Who we are to judge. Who are we to judge?
Who are we? Okay.
But he might say, who we are to judge him. He might
more rhetorical thing.
It'd be a rather interesting concept to watch 1,440 sunsets in one 24-hour period. That's a strange thought. But that lamplighter, I love the way he read the good evening, good morning, and how quickly it happens.
Yeah, and you're still so polite, you know, to say it every time. Good evening, good morning.
The concept of time is fun to talk about sometimes. People who, I get lost too quickly, but some people can really talk about time warp in a fashion that makes some sense. And Joanna posted, does your work have meaning? She has a meaning. That could be interesting to talk about too. Does your work have a meaning versus does your work have meaning? A meaning assumes or presumes one purpose, and usually this is an uncountable. Does your work have meaning? I shouldn't say usually, but in this instance, in this context, it would be, does your work have meaning? Yes, my work does. How would you answer that question?
Of course, yes. Yes.
Elaborate, please.
Okay. Well, I hope so. I think that when my students are happy with what I'm doing, you know, with my lessons, with my classes, I find meaning in my job. Actually, it depends on the opinion of my students. And another thing, I love what I'm doing, so it definitely has a meaning to me. So I guess that just earning money would not be enough for me. You know, it would be. I cannot say that it is just meaningless, because you still are doing something. You are feeding your family, right? You are just you can see another meaning in your job, but doing something that you love really has a meaning to me as a person, as a human being, and to people with whom I work. I don't know. Just interesting question.
Gerard, you want to try and answer?
Okay. Talking about my job, my work. Well, the job and work.
Yeah, sometimes your work might not be your job. Some people say their job is meaningless, their work is somewhere else. But however you choose to answer it.
Well, I talk about my job. It has a meaning because I make my living thanks to it. My workplace, I think my job, my work is important because I have to keep the campground quiet, and so people can sleep. And I think that's very important.
Diana would agree.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Sleep is important, definitely.
It's very annoying when you cannot sleep because someone or something bothers you. So I think I can say that.
Thank you, and I can say thank you for those people who can sleep because of you.
Yeah, I'm sure. Otherwise, if we didn't watch the campsite at night, the campsite would be mayhem.
Nice use of vocab. Good. Mayhem. I've been in campgrounds where mayhem has been the general rule, and it is very challenging to sleep. Most often when people are using loud radios, that's a change in my lifetime, because as I was a child, transistor radios were introduced, and before we had transistor radios, campgrounds were almost always very quiet, strong, nature-appreciating places. And then came radio, and a lot changed since then. And now people pull up with their TVs and everything available for entertainment. Diana, your mic got muted. I don't know. Oh, there it goes.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Because Bozhena just came, and that's why, you know.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if it was intentional or not, so I wanted to alert you.
Thank you.
So do you think everyone's work, every type of work has a meaning?
Me, I think so. Because through this work, well, every honest work. Because there are works that are not honest. So I think.
Like parliamentarians.
Yes.
I'm not touching that one. Goodness. Some Majid posted this week on Luke that everything has a meaning, that nothing is meaningless. So even dishonest work would have a meaning.
Maybe a bad meaning.
Maybe. Maybe a not so pleasant meaning. Do you think your work is more or much more meaningful or meaningless than others' work?
I wouldn't dare to compare with others' work. It looks like teaching is more worthy and more important than my work.
When you say it looks like it is, are you thinking that it is, or are you thinking that it looks like it might be, but it's not really?
I think some words, they, from the general point of view of people, and they are thought to be more important, like, I don't know, doctors, teachers, even politicians when they are good.
Diana has any thoughts to add on that? I'm not sure how I would answer that question. I've known people with jobs that most people would look at and think are not that full of meaning, and yet the gift they are to the world and the things they do through their job give lots of meaning, depth of meaning to their work and their place in life, in the world. So I think it's more the person than the occupation, I guess, would be my comment. Interesting. And an interesting list of questions that she posted. Do you ever feel your work is meaningless?
No, I don't.
Ah, good for you. I have to say that I have felt that way sometimes.
Even some words that some people think that they are low works, low jobs, like keeping the garbage, they are important. We can notice that. We can notice that when there are strikes. The streets full of garbage.
Yeah, so then you realize how important their work might be. When they're stopped their work, you realize how important. So back to chapter 14, if the lamplighter stopped lighting his lamp, people might notice on his little planet. Hello, Kurt. I see you've joined us. Your mic is off. I don't know if you want to turn it on and say hello.
Hello.
And here's Amra, too.
So, am I audible?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. Am I late? I'm
yes.
sure, yeah.
We're halfway through.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Thanks, Holly. So the topic, I'm sure that the hangout for tonight, or here is night. So tonight is Little Prince. I'm not sure, but I think so.
And every week has been trying to be discussions of the Little Prince, and we just winding down a discussion on chapter 14.
Chapter 14.
I keep begging loopers to check check and comment before class, and it's been a really slow pull. So we're just winding down, talking about the discussion questions that Joanna added here. And if you listen to the recording, you'll hear that we did. Diana and Gerard did an excellent job reading chapter 14 aloud for practice. And I don't know if anyone has more comments about the questions about work being meaningful and how sometimes you don't realize how meaningful a job or occupation is until someone goes on strike and they stop doing that work.
Yeah, exactly. Welcome, Amr.
Yes. And Amr, if you're going to speak with us, you'll need to turn your mic on. And Diana's back.
All right.
There he is. Hello.
Hello, Holly.
Yes. Hello.
Hello, Diana.
Hello, hello. Hangouts usually kick me out.
Yeah, hello, Amr. Welcome.
Hello from man. Am I pronouncing your name right? Farman?
Yeah, exactly. Farman.
Farman.
Yeah, it's
Farman. Second syllable stress. You need to correct me.
Yeah.
Okay. So is this why you changed your name? Because I mispronounce it?
Yes, of course, Holly, because of you.
Yeah, it's really funny when I'm talking with the English speakers, especially those especially they are foreigner because they do not know what the farmer mean. But in English it means a person that far from you, the farmer.
People might anticipate that meaning. Yes. Yeah. And I think I heard Amr say, what's new and good, or what's good and new? He's using my question. I like that. So we're welcome to share what's good and new, or continue chapter 14, or I will also copy the comment I had posted to our event listing that we might also talk about idioms and proverbs relating to autumn. And I had listed a few there. So that should give all of you lots to talk about, and I will zip my lips. Burbling to our, I just see a message that Amr has added Burbling. I didn't know they had an app in the Hangouts. I don't want to try it here, though, because whenever we try to open any of the extras, we bump people out of the Hangout. But do you want to talk about Burbling, Amr?
Sorry, what did you say?
But I saw a
No,
pop-up.
no, I just
Okay.
no, I just trying the app here. I have app for Burbling, and just trying. Does it appear in your site?
I saw a pop-up saying that Amr added Burbling, so I could
Yeah,
open
yeah.
it. I could open it here too, but I don't. We just lost Diana again.
I'm sorry. I just trying in. Sorry.
No, but that's fine. And Burbling has been getting a lot of interest, generating a lot of interest. So I didn't know if you wanted to talk about it. Any of you, have you tried Burbling classes?
Yes, once. Just once. Just one time I used it carefully,
Actually,
but yeah. Okay, go ahead, Amr. I'm sorry to interrupt you. I have to type T.
okay, no problem. Okay, actually, I am a member on Burbling, and I'm practicing my English on Burbling. Yeah, I think it's a good tool for practicing and communicate with other people.
What can we do about with Burbling?
Farman, or Kurd, Farman, or Kurd, or Amr.
Okay.
How would you describe Burbling?
Yeah.
What can you do with it?
Yeah.
Burbling is an online language learning, like
I think.
MOOCs. You know, have you heard about MOOCs? Yes, exactly. Yeah. It's a live classes or something like that.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Hmm.
Yeah,
It is something
I
similar
think
to with IQ or B marker.
Hmm. Burbling,
yes,
as
exactly.
far
It's
as
right.
I understand it, they use Hangouts, correct?
Yes, 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 exactly. They are using Hangouts and they make a link from their website to Hangouts and they record their lessons so student can watch if he lost any lesson or something like that. Yes,
I'm not quite
exactly.
sure
It's a
how
direct link.
they set it up. I'm curious to learn more about how they made that happen because they have the link directly on their Burbling site easily rather than going through YouTube. But I'm curious, my understanding the last time I explored the site was that you had to pay in order to see very many prior classes, that it was limited if you didn't pay. Has that changed? Is it completely free?
Actually, they give you a promotion for free if someone else join the site from your referral link, and you can do attend the classes and join a live classes. And after you finish these tickets, you can buy and you can take private lessons as well. And I think the video.
Yeah, thank you for information. Kurd, anything else that you would add from your experiment? Okay, so similar comment. You can have private tutors there. Some of our Loop educators have been exploring it and testing it. They certainly have a much wider audience than Loop does, so hoping to snag some private student lessons there. Yeah, it's a very attractive, professional-looking site. I've heard feedback from other Loopers that often the classes have technical glitches just like our Hangouts do. And I know Burbling was trying to improve that interface experience, and I don't know if they've had success with that or not. Stronger servers or something to try and improve. Whoops, and we just lost Amra. As a case in point, and Diana hasn't found her way back yet. Yeah, I have no problem talking about other opportunities that you discover. I learn a lot from hearing about them, and there's some awesome resources available online. Yeah. So, Kurd, you tried a free lesson there?
Okay, yeah. I'm gonna tell you about the Bible link. Yeah. The Bible link just once added by a friend from there. Yeah, but I couldn't find it. It's interesting because there is no, I mean, teachers at that time. Because I'm not sure that at that time the teacher is not present, or it's, I mean, it is the same as for I mean, as usual, to join the Bible link without a native speaker or at least a teacher of English.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, when I found out that there is when I found out that there is a lot of learners practice their English without welcome Hala. Welcome Hala to join. Welcome to join our Hangout tonight. And the most important thing that they are random talking. They no one admitted others to talk and take the turn. And they're randomly talking. Talking. But I didn't back to the Bible link since I found out there's no benefit for us. We have to learn. We have to find out our mistakes, and we are not native speakers.
Interesting. Yeah. So it's like, I guess, anywhere, each experience can have a different take. Hello. You're welcome to
hello.
say hello.
Hello. Yeah. Finally, I can enter.
I'm glad.
I tried. Yes, I tried since half hour.
Aww. So we're.
I tired.
Yeah. So we're glad you have joined. So we've been talking about chapter 14 of The Little Prince, the book group on Loop. And we switched and we've been talking about Burbling, which is a website online, and curious to hear student experiences with Burbling. And now we're open to new discussion. So I don't know if you have a specific topic you'd like to talk about, or I had also proposed that we might talk about autumn expressions and idioms. So it's open to you. Which direction should we go in? What would you like to talk about?
Yeah, I'm not sure, but I think Hala wants us to talk about food.
I hope she's not losing her connection. Can you still hear us?
She's really exhausted because there is too much. Zigzag. Zigzag is still.
Yeah, we lost her connection. Hopefully, she'll be able to come back again. Challenging.
Absolutely.
We could talk about food for her. So seasonal food. What do you consider autumn, fall food?
Okay.
It's a nice topic actually to talk about seasonal food. Yeah, I totally agree with you. Yeah, let's go.
Mm. Looks like it's your turn, Karen.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, thank you, Sam. I saw that you haven't finished your talking, so I'm sorry. Yeah, I wouldn't like to jump off. Yeah, we were talking about the seasonal food. For example, we are okay, Gerard. Do you want to talk? Come on,
Okay.
sir. Come on, sir. Go ahead. After you, I will talk about it.
Okay. Now in autumn, in my country, Spain, we harvest the grapes, apples, and and other fruits in autumn, in fall time. Yes, grapes, apples. I don't know. Other fruits are harvested before in the summer, during the summer. Seasonal fruit, seasonal fruit. I don't know. Nowadays we keep food in freezers, so we have we can have it all day long. Most fruits.
Do you change what you eat in the autumn and fall? Seasonally, do you change the kinds of foods you eat?
Well, in the winter we pick up the orange, so I tend to eat more orange during the winter. And all year long we have apples, but now we have a new harvest, a new crop, so you can eat new apples. But some fruits are perishable, like peaches. Okay? They cannot last as long as apples do last in freezers. So we can only eat them during a few months. But actually in Spain we eat everything in all seasons, almost everything. Only some fruits or some vegetables are seasonable.
Oh, we lost her again. Oh, darn. Uh, Anyone else? Comments? Thoughts? Do you eat similar foods most of the year?
Farman? Farman?
Yes, Gerard. Just so, am I okay? Yeah, it's my turn to talk.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's practice. Am I on? My
Yes.
sound is on. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we were talking about the food season. I mean, seasonal food season or season food. Where in here it has special food for each season. For example, for fall or let's say autumn, we have liquid. I mean, liquid and warm food like soups, stew, and some liquid, yeah, liquid foods, dishes, because that the weather changes from hot to the cold, and the throat needs some liquids so as to keep away from the bacteria around, because nectar. Yeah, like juice, nectars. Yeah, exactly. And we need was some beneficial and nutrition for our health, so as to, because our location located in the, our place, our living located in the between among mountains. So the weather changes from from hot to cold rapidly. So fast, and because climate change, most people go to hospital. Why? Because they have health problem. For example, sore throats and flu, running noses, and type of disease needs some, yeah, exactly, some liquids. So we are dependent. We are dependent for the seasons. Each season has own, yeah, hospital to adapt exactly, and nothing else. That's all.
Okay, I'm curious. Do you go to a hospital, or do you usually go to a local pharmacist or to a personal doctor?
It is changes, dear Holly. For example, as an employer, you can't go to doctor whenever you want. To the hospital whenever you want. Yeah, you have to go to the pharmacy or clinic like that. But here, hospitals are cheaper than clinical or pharmacy, and and the reason is the price. Most people go to the hospital rather than clinic and pharmacy, because the pharmacy you have to pay money, and in here we are not a development country. We are still in the backward countries, and despite all sanction in all the neighboring countries, because we are Kurdish and the Arabian people, and deprived us from, for example, Jordan, Syria, Iraq, and also from Iran and Turkey. How do we get medicine? We have to pay lots of money. We deprived exactly from the human privacy. And as we have an idiom, we have to cost an arm and a leg for getting some medicine.
Yeah, it costs an arm and a leg.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
Do you have access to physicians? Are you able to find qualified healthcare providers? I'm curious about whether or not that's an option. There's so many challenges, sometimes in very surprising places of so-called well-developed countries. There are still huge challenges with regard to healthcare, and many times the emergency room is where people end up because there isn't another choice.
Exactly.
Interesting segue from autumn seasonal foods to emergency rooms at the hospital.
Yeah, it goes from there, up and down. This is alive. From topic to another topic, it changes from the food to hospitals to medicine to curing.
To the Little Prince. and the importance of lamplighters and 1,440 sunsets in one day. So it's been quite the hangout.
It's time to pray here, so I have to leave here. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, we have about 5 minutes left, but thank you for joining.
Yeah, thank you all. It was nice talking to you.
Okay. You too. Take care.
Thank you. I hope you too. I have to next time meet you soon. Okay. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Okay, interesting. So who else has a new tangent for us? Where should we take our conversation next?
I'd like to know the meaning of this expression, this idiom. Take a leaf out of someone's book.
Take a leaf out of someone's book. Sometimes this was shared because it uses the word leaf, and leaf, the leaves fall in autumn. It's also substituted sometimes with page. Take a page out of someone's book. Same idiom. And it is if you replicate what someone else's life has been. So if you take a book that tells all about someone's life and they write about something they did, you take a page out and you copy it. You do what they did. So when you take a leaf out of someone's book, you copy and do something, follow the similar or same path that that person followed. So when you hear about someone who went back to college at age 55 or 85, they might say, I took a page out of this person's book, and name their role model or why they decided to go back to study at a late age in life would be one example of how to use it.
Why fall or autumn drives someone nuts?
Well, nuts. It's hard to find idioms about autumn, so you think of things that are symbols of autumn. And in the United States, or at least in the eastern United States, nuts and leaves and harvests are words that are associated with autumn. So it really doesn't have much to do with autumn, except that nuts is used in the idiom, and to drive someone nuts is to annoy or irritate or bother them so much that they go crazy. They go nuts. So it was a stretch to try and find expressions relating to autumn as I experience autumn. But autumn is quite different in different regions of the world. When you look at your area near the Mediterranean, what does autumn look like? What changes in the landscape?
That depends of the trees, because you know pines don't have fall of their leaves, but oaks and other trees, they change the color of their leaves. The color of the leaves change, and it's very beautiful.
You do have some deciduous, spell it right, deciduous trees that drop their leaves and change color.
Yes, especially in the zone near the zone where you stayed.
Where I visited. So there's some pretty autumn color there. Our leaves are turning quite rapidly this season. We have a lot of leaf change already. Bright reds and yellows. The oranges will come soon. Yeah, it's a beautiful time of year in most of the eastern United States and parts of the Midwest and limited bits of West Coast. And we've lost everyone. We scared them all away. Any other quick questions before we go?
No.
All right. Some good discussion and vocabulary and practice. And I'm just going to copy our chat. And I'm guessing I will probably talk to you again soon.
Yes.
Okay.
Sure.
Take care.
See you soon.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
everyone. Bye-bye.